Hey everyone, welcome to this lesson where we're going to be talking about what is an authority site. Now, I know it's a bit of a weird question to ask now that you've joined the course and bought the course, but I think it's important to talk about all these things so that we know what to expect, and I can explain to you kind of like the general path of growth for authority sites, what are the pros, what are the cons, and what you should be looking out for. So let's go back to the base question. What is an authority site? An authority site is a business, and I like to really insist on that fact because a lot of people treat these kind of websites as not so serious, but we're quite serious about the sites that we run, and our goal is to build a team, is to build a client base and all that stuff and build a real business. So it's a business, but the difference from other types of businesses that you usually interact with, like Apple, for example, is when you go on apple.com, they don't really serve you content or anything. They just offer you their products right away. So they offer you a Mac or an iPhone or AirPods or something like that. And you just go right away, you check out and see you later, right? Authority sites are a little bit different. Authority sites focus on topics. So authority sites can be about gardening, about pets, about sports, tennis or something like that, or snowboard. And they offer you a bunch of free content. And then through that free content, they slowly funnel you to a purchase or to promoting stuff. Usually most authority sites monetize in 3 different ways. They monetize through ads, they monetize through affiliate marketing, which is recommending other people's products and getting paid a commission for it, or they just sell their own products, which can be either physical, so like items that you can buy, e-commerce, etc., or digital, like courses, etc. So that's what authority sites do, but when you discover them at the beginning, you often bump onto free content, then join an email list or click on an affiliate link and then purchase. And that's the difference between most businesses. Authority sites focus on a topic, whereas most other businesses focus on products. Let's now talk about the pros and cons of that type of business and how it differs from the rest, right? So the pros is, first of all, it's kind of like compounded growth. So authority sites very much rely on content that you publish on your blog, etc., to acquire traffic that you can then monetize. And the thing is, the content that you wrote last month and the months before, etc., keep producing value for you by ranking on Google or being shared on social media, even though you're not looking at them. So let's say you're outputting 10 articles per month, and you do that for 10 months. At the end, you have 100 articles essentially generating traffic and hopefully revenues through ads, affiliates, or products for you. So you essentially input the same amount of effort every month, 10 articles, and you get an increasing amount of return because you have in total more and more articles available on your site. 10 more per month. After 10 months, you have 100. After 20 months, you have 200, etc., etc. Now, obviously, there is a level of updating your content, making sure it's still up to date and so on. So there's a bit of work to maintain that content, but usually it's a lot less than creating the content in the first place. And that creates that kind of like compounding effect of growth, which is really, really exciting in terms of growing a business. Another pro of authority sites is that content that you're creating essentially, does that work for you passively. So you get some degree of passive income with an authority site. And I say some degree because modern SEO will require you to keep tweaking your content a little bit, do on page, add some content, rechange some keywords, etc. But as I say, there's a lot less work when it comes to maintaining than essentially earning your traffic. And so we have sites that we haven't touched for a year plus that still generate income for us, or even several years actually. And we're just collecting the check every month, and we get a degree of passive income every month from these authority sites, and it's really, really nice when it's rolling. And finally, the third really exciting thing for authority websites is the life-changing exit potential. Now, authority sites are a hot commodity. At the time at which I'm recording this video, they sell for around 35 times monthly profit. And that's actually up from 20 times just a couple years ago, so it's almost double. And so far, there's no sign of slowing down, so people really like buying these properties. And what that does is it's pretty common for a lot of our pro members, especially, to sell their sites for mid, high 6 figures, even 7 figures sometimes. And it's something that can really happen, is quite likely compared to, let's say, a startup, a tech startup, for example. We all know about Instagram selling for 1.6 billion, I think, to Facebook, but it's pretty rare. Whereas selling authority sites for like $1 million or more, I know several people. I don't have enough fingers on my 2 hands to count these people, and many of them are in H Pro and so on. So it's something that happens, not to everyone, but it is likely. And when that happens, and if it happens to you, it can be quite life-changing to get this much money coming into your life and, pay off for your house or, pay your student debt plus buy a new car and things like that, and essentially set you off to a path of wealth personally. Now, I'm sure you're all excited with everything I've just shared with you and you're pumped up and everything, but it's not all rose tinted, right? There's also a lot of negative sides to authority sites, and I want to also talk about these to you so that you have a more realistic view of what you can expect. And the first big negative side of authority sites is that they take a really long time to get rolling. And it's kind of frustrating at the beginning, especially when you've done it several times, because you have essentially that sandbox period, which is 6 months to a year. But really, I usually consider the first year to not be super great for revenue. And a lot of other types of businesses tend to out-earn authority sites on the first year, because it takes so long, especially if you rely on Google at the beginning, which we are going to do, to start ranking. I mean, at the time at which I'm recording this video, the case study site that we're going to be sharing with you and building in this course has been for 4 months, and it's only starting to rank right now. So it gives you an idea. The first year, I usually tell people you're better off working at McDonald's, but this is a good thing. If you think about it, sure, it takes some time, but what it means is that because it takes some time, many people don't pursue that route and go for something else to make money. And what it means is less competition for us. So I'm both glad and kind of hateful of that kind of delayed gratification that comes with authority sites, but it's a real thing. It takes a long time for things to take off. There's no magic formula to bypass it. You will just need to wait the time and play the long-term game. The second downside of authority sites is it can be quite repetitive, right? So once you figure out what works for your site, let's say you found a category where you're making good money with affiliate offers when you're reviewing the products, right? Well, the best thing for you to do is not really to reinvent the wheel at this point. It's to review every product that you can put in this category and repeat the same format that has worked with previous pages in terms of making you money. So, for example, we have a golf site that I'm going to be showing you in this course as an example several times. And we figured out some roundup previews worked really well in the clubs category. And instead of trying to be really smart and come up with brand new ideas, etc., we just brainstorm every single keyword where we could do these same types of reviews. And we created 100+ pages on that website that matched the exact same format. And that's how the revenue grew quite significantly on this website. And that is a little bit tedious when you have to work on a pack of 20, 30, 40, 50 pages that all have the same format, etc. But that is the way to scale up your website and essentially get the benefits of building that authority site. But the thing is, you will be quite motivated by the growing revenues once you have found something that works and you can just repeat it several times and every time it makes you more money. And finally, the last kind of downside of authority sites is when you get to a higher level, it can get quite complex. Now, it's not going to get that complex in this course because we are going to be focusing on the stage 1 of authority sites, and I'm going to be talking about stages in a second. But when you get to selling products, having a support team, need to deal with logistics if you're selling physical products, etc., etc., it's kind of a lot of hats to wear for a single business owner, and it can, be a little bit overwhelming, etc. I find it personally quite interesting. I like to do a lot of different things. But to some people, it might be a little bit difficult. And that's why the stage model that we're going to talk about in a second allows you to slowly increase complexity rather than just jumping in and having too much at once. So that's basically it for the negative sides of authority sites. Now I want to talk about the stage system. And that's something that we came up with. It's essentially a model that shows you the path of growth of an authority site, but the thing is, this model is not only for your site's growth, it's for your own personal growth as well. This model gets more complex as you get comfortable with the more simple steps. And so we wanted to focus on 3 stages. The first stage is actually a very simplified version of an authority site, and you could also call it an affiliate site on stage 1, really. And the goal is going to be getting traffic from Google and then monetizing that traffic with affiliate marketing. So sending people to other people's stores and getting a commission for the sales, and advertising. So essentially putting blocks of ads on your content, and when people load your pages, you get paid per impression. And that's pretty much what we're going to be focusing on exclusively in this course. sounds simple, but there's a lot of details on how you pick your keywords, how you monetize, etc. So trust me, it's going to keep us busy for a lot of videos already. That's essentially stage 1, right? That's the very beginning. Then on stage 2, what we do is we keep all the same activities on stage 1, but then we add collecting audiences and building followership to your brand at the same time. So it's collecting emails, it's getting people to follow you on social media and engage on social media, and then monetizing that following with emailing affiliate offers, for example, so you can monetize your email list, but also selling sponsored posts and sponsored like social media posts, etc. Essentially selling access to your following to brands. And that's basically stage 2. So we're going to keep doing all the SEO stuff, and we're going to add collecting people, followers, etc. so we can reach them and so on. And usually the kind of affiliate marketing you do is these kind of like follower-based marketing is usually selling higher paying offers, etc. So that's when you promote info products, for example, you can get really high commissions for selling these, etc. So it's a little bit different. It's a bit of a different skill set. And you're also learning how to direct sell to people rather than just passively selling inside blog posts. So it's kind of an interesting stage. And then the third stage is essentially focusing on creating your own products and then selling them to the audience that you've built in stage 2. And when you own your own products, it actually opens up new traffic sources. So you can start playing with paid traffic, for example, buying ads on Facebook, on Google, etc. You can have affiliates that promote your stuff. There's a lot of product creation that you need to think about as well. So either that's courses, so you need to essentially work out the production, video production, what I'm doing here basically. And there's also physical products, so sourcing products and selling them, etc. So you can do all these things on stage 3 on top of everything you do on stage 1 and stage 2. So that's what I was talking about. Complexity intensifies as you go, but also earnings intensify as you multiply the business models, because if you're a stage 3 authority site, you could be having ad revenue, you could be making JV revenue with like high paying affiliate offers to your email list, affiliate revenues through, passive earnings through your blog posts that rank, selling your physical products, selling your info products, etc. So you get a lot of ways to make money, and you also get a lot of ways through which people discover you and get to your website through Google, through social media, through your email list, through paid traffic, through affiliates, etc., etc. So it gets complicated, but the first version is going to be very simple, and we're going to mostly be focusing on the first version in this course. One thing I want to say about stages though is that it doesn't mean income brackets, right? Like there's some stage 1 sites that are really, really big and review pretty much everything. I mean, the Wirecutter, for example, was essentially a stage 1 site only reviewing products and making money through affiliate marketing. And it was sold a couple of years ago for $30 million to the New York Times. So, stage 1 sites can be big. And similarly, stage 3 sites can be not so big. Like some very niche sites that sell an ebook about a specific breed of dog, for example, don't make 30 million or something like that. They make a lot less. So the stages are more about like the evolution of the business model rather than how much money you make. So it's something to keep in mind. And a lot of people decide to actually stay on stage 1, for example, and do a pure affiliate SEO game, and that's completely fine. Some people like to even start on stage 3 because they're a bit more seasoned and they know how to sell products and they prefer to do that. And they like to start with paid traffic right away and so on. So it's a quite flexible model, but if you're a beginner, I would recommend that you stick with what we're teaching in this course and stick with building a stage 1 site together. So that's basically it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.